Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I talked about teaching assistant jobs, how you can apply, what's up, what has been happening. You guys, a lot has been happening as you all know. But then I've been feeling guilty because I've gotten a lot of comments on my videos. Like there was one particular subscriber that made me want to make this video. He or she, I don't know her name, NZ something on YouTube. I don't know if it's a female or male, but I'm guessing it's female. She said she registered with an agency, but she has not been able to get like constant shift. She has not been able to get like constant. I'm just assuming she's a shisha. But if you're watching this video, tell me if you're a he or she. But I just feel the person chats like a she, so I'm guessing. So she said she has not been getting constant shift. That since she registered, it was just once they've got given her shift, all of that thing. And I started feeling guilty because I convinced a lot of people to register with teaching agencies. In fact, one of my friends, she currently works with a teaching agency, and then a lot of other people that like made inquiries about it and have started working with teaching agencies. Congratulations to you, Rocket. Congratulations to you. But again, like I said, I at some point I'm feeling guilty. Like I made it all like a secret call something. You guys join. After joining, I'm not going to give you tips on how we can navigate it. Okay. So in this video, basically, I'll be telling you how you can get more shifts after registering, because you would agree with me. A lot of us, I was there at some point. I'm glad to say now that well, anyways, agency worker and I say agency worker, but I was there at some point where you register with an agency to get shifts can't be issue you get. So because of that, a lot of people now start applying to other jobs, and when they get other jobs, they just like they're not doing the teaching agency work again, or the teaching assistant work again. I can totally understand. So if you've already registered with an agency and they don't give you shifts, or they give you shifts once in a week, once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks, or you come closer, let me tell you how you can get constant shifts as much as possible or as much as you want. Okay, so in this video basically I'll be sharing tips. Pay attention to the third tip because it is like the most important and the helele, the oga pata pata of all tips. Okay, so how can you get more shifts as a cover supervisor or as a teaching assistant? Just three things I'll share. It will be a very quick one. The first thing is for you to be diligent in your job. Now, when you get into school, or especially if you're going to school for the first time, if they're going to post you for the first time, your consultant would give you a couple of instructions. Like they'll say, oh, when you get to this school, definitely they'll tell you orally and they'll send you an email. Before then, already you've done some courses to tell you how to comport yourself in school. Some of the instructions, they give you loads and loads of instructions. One of those instructions is that you should not use your phone. Like, you should not use your phone. So when you get to the school, you will see teachers inside the school, even inside the class, using their phones. Yes, because they're permanent staff, they are teachers, So you don't say, oh, because a teacher is using her phone in class, that means I must use my phone. Once you get into school, keep your phone in your bag or in your pocket. The only time you can bring out your phone is when you're in the staff room. Okay. So when you're in school, when you're in class, on no account, on of course your phone has to be on silent. Better still switch it off so that your village people will not, they will not break protocol, and your phone when they silent go begin the ring out. You know how the devil works, you get. So put your phone in silence or you turn it off. Do not press your phone in class, in the hallway, anywhere that is not the staff room, and during break, you get. So when you enter the staff room, you can be on your phone, you can do your TikTok, you can do your Facebook, but in school, do not use your phone. Like I said, they'll give you a couple of instructions, like so many instructions. Make sure to adhere to them to the teeth. Do not miss anyone, do not customize anyone, do not freestyle anyone. Do what you are asked to do. Okay, be diligent. Arrive early, especially on the first day. So if you registered with a new agency, most times what they are doing is like test, let them test, because mind you, they are running a business, and part of the reason they remain in business is that some of the agency staff they send to these schools, they do their job well. And of course, when they do their job well, these schools will call again and say, oh, please, I need this agency, or I need this particular person to come. So arrive early on the day. If you're not so familiar with the environment, use Uber. That's what I do most times. I'm not so happy using Uber, but I have to pay that sacrifice. If I'm going to a school for the first time and it's not like a 30 minutes drive bus ride, or a 40 minutes bus ride, I like to use Uber because I don't want to take chances, you get. Because sometimes you might say, okay, let me use the bus, you miss your bus, and maybe you get to the bus stop trying to track that place by feet, time is going, you get all of that. So make sure to arrive early. If you know that the bus may delay you, use an Uber. The essence of the why I'm saying you should be diligent is that when you are very good, like when you are really good, like there's a particular school that whenever they need cover supervisors, this agency will always reach out to me. At some point, he was my consultant in the other agency, would try to convince me to cancel my shift with this other agency so I can come to this school. Say, the school is just 30 minutes and they especially requested for you. But unfortunately, I've already been booked somewhere and I can't, cancel. You get, so if you are diligent, you follow instructions, you know what you are doing, either as a teaching assistant or a cover supervisor, you stand your ground. Like, especially when you work as a cover supervisor, definitely you see students who are heady, students who are, you stand your ground, enforce the rules, make sure they are quiet, do all of those kind of things. When they need somebody, and when they need another cover supervisor, they will specifically ask for you, not just the agency. They will not want to just recruit anybody from the agency. They'll specifically ask, bring this so and so person. You get, so be diligent in your work, and your agency will definitely call you back. One of the reasons why they don't call you back is that maybe the last time you went, they had a lot of complaints. Mind you, they, after every shift, the school always review you. They'll say, oh, this person arrived late today. Oh, this person did so poorly today. Oh, this person did. They always review. So if they're always giving negative reviews about you, trust me, that agency will not call you back. Even when they have shift, they'll call other people or try to recruit more people so that they will replace you. You get, so number one point, be very diligent, follow rules, and of course, you earn trust from that agency, and rest assured, they'll call you, they'll contact you back. Okay. My second point is that you should not take shifts and then cancel it. So most times what these agencies do, they give you booking one day ahead. Sometimes they give you, for instance, for this week, if today is Friday, for instance, they ask you availability for the week. If they already have their schedules, they could say, okay, I have shifts for you on Thursday and Friday, or Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday. You get, so when you've accepted that shift, on no account should you cancel it. I get it that there are sometimes when you have other things doing, things clash, um unforeseen circumstances might come up for you to cancel your shift. But do not cancel your shift just to favor another agency. So this is what happens here. If you're registered with more than one agency, you've already taken shift from these people. And maybe sometimes, for instance, that happens to me most of the time. So I've already accepted a shift, and this shift is in Wakefield. I stay in Leeds. Wakefield is in another city. And if I'm going by bus, it's like 1 hour, depending on where the part of Wakefield anyways, but on the average 1 hour 40 minutes. So it's a distance. So if school is to resume by 8:30, I'm already leaving my house at 6:30 or 6 o'clock, just to be sure that I do not arrive there late. Okay. So now you have accepted a shift for a place that is far, 1 hour 40 minutes, and then the next hour another agency is calling you to book you for another shift for a school that is 30 minutes away from you. And you'll be like, hey Mobeo, these people would have called me if only they had called earlier. You get, now you are tempted because it's almost the same amount. Sometimes the school that is even closer is even, cheap, more, like they pay more. The school that is even, so you'll not be thinking in your mind, imagine me traveling almost 2 hours to this place. Meanwhile, there's a school that I can just take one bus 22 minutes, and I'm there, and I walk 4 minutes to the school. You get, so you are tempted to call these other people to say, oh, I want to cancel the shift, I'm not well. That thing happened to me one day. You want to just make up stories to cancel the shift so that you can take the one that is closer to you. You get, but then, like I always say, once you have accepted a shift, do not cancel, because here's the logic. Here's my logic, anyways. Like, if you keep canceling from the other agency, they lose trust in you. So when next they have a shift, they don't even want to book you, because if they book you and you cancel last minute, they will be stranded. They start running helter skelter looking for. So you are not a trustworthy agency staff or contract staff. So you the chances of you landing jobs will be really slim, because they don't trust you. You get, so no matter how juicy the other people have, as long as they are not off, they did not make that offer first before this other agency, accept the one you have accepted and do not cancel, because this other agency that is wooing you, oh, accept my own, when the time comes, it will be that this other agency may not even have shifts again for you. But these other people you've been canceling back to back, they're now the ones that will come to the rescue. So that has happened to me like several times. There are some agencies that sometimes they are dull, like they will not give you that shift that much. But in the next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks, they fully booked you for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You get, so it changes. So when you try to favor one agency over the other, when the other agency go they hot, they no go remember you. Oh, you get. So I try to balance things up. I work for these people, work for these people, work for these people, and I do not cancel shift in favor of another agency, because, to be very honest, these agencies, they are bit jealous themselves. Then, because most times when you tell them I've already been booked elsewhere, they ask you, oh, what's the name of the school? Oh, how much do they pay? So left for you to tell them how, like, because okay, let me digress a little. I noticed that these agencies do not pay like the same agency. Let's say I work for agency A, they do not pay me the same thing as they pay the other person. They do not pay the other person the same thing as they pay. How did I know? One day I went to school. Like, you know how like you meet different agency staff. Oh, you work for this agency? Say yeah. How much is your daily pay? And I like the fact that most of these guys are really honest because they know that what's the point? Why do you want to lie anyway? So I'll ask you like, what's your daily pay? And you tell me, and I'm like, hello, hello. In my mind, I'm like, hello, e no reach wetin dey pay me o, but like I said, they do not pay people the same. So most times when they call and say, oh hello Udochi, are you available? And I say no, I've been booked elsewhere, they start asking you things like how much are they paying you. So you tell them, maybe if you tell them something like 100 pounds, they'll say, what if we give you 120? If you tell them 120, they say, what if we give you 140? And boom, if you agree with that, for that, what if that's what they'll pay you on a normal day, they may want to pay you like 110 or 120. But the fact that you've been booked elsewhere and that's the same amount they're paying, they will offer something higher. That's how I know that these agencies don't pay the same thing to everybody. Okay. So for some people they'll give them 110, for some people 130, some people want, depending on the situation and how desperate they are at the moment. For instance, if it's an on the day booking, if they call you on a Tuesday morning and you say, oh, there was a day they booked me for a fast shift. Oh, this place is really far. Before I need to book an Uber. So usually you use I have my monthly ticket and I'll definitely use a bus so I don't have to spend extra. But because you're giving me an urgent booking and this place is far, it means I have to use an Uber. So that means my money don't call. They say, okay, don't, no problem. So how much is your Uber money? You tell them. And so they're paying you your normal shift and paying your Uber money. So it depends on the level of desperation at the moment. Okay, so yeah, but like I said, don't try to cancel your shift, don't favor one agency over the other, but one day is gonna hook you for sure. Okay, the third and most important, the most important is for you to register with more than two agencies. I would say 3 to 4 agencies, because to be fair, sometimes I lose count of the number of agencies I've registered with. Sometimes an agency books me and the only time I know who is calling, or when I'm asleep, me I sabi do that, and I sabi pick call when I'm fully asleep. I don't know how that happens. I'm responding to you, but it's only when that call drops that I realize that, oh, I just picked a call. What just happened? And I calm down and start recalling. Okay, somebody called me. They tried to book a shift. It's on the day of that booking. So it's only when I check the email for the booking confirmation, that's when I know the agency that sent it. Sometimes, are you available for work? I don't know who the agency that is calling. I've lost track. Okay, so I'm registered with how many teaching agencies? This guy me four agencies, and I think 3 of them are active. mm, Great. Three are very active. One is once in a while, and that once in a while they make sense. I'm not gonna lie, you get. So two very active or three very active. Anyways, I'm registered with like 4 teaching agencies. Okay, so the hack is registering with more than 3, because the first agency you register with, that's like the hardest. Of course, that's where you have to bring your reference, bring this, bring. By the time you have all those documents, registering with others will be so easy, so simple. So I'd advise you to register with 3 to 4 agencies. So something happened to me around July. So this particular agency was posting me in Bradford like constantly, back to back. If you know Bradford, if you know the UK, or anyways, if you know Bradford, you know that Leeds is quite a distance from Bradford. And then I had been telling them that this place is quite, it's really far from me. Like, they used 2 hours go, 2 hours come back. It was really stressful. I was trying to convince them to like send me somewhere around Leeds, and they'll keep telling me that, oh, we don't have an opening in Leeds, but whenever we have an opening in Leeds, I will sure to let you know. You'll be the first to know. Or more time they go. I complained and complained week in, week out. I kept going to Bradford until one day I was tired. At the time, I already started my onboarding process with other like 2 other agencies, but it was not finalized. Okay, so it was just them. And then one week like that, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to Bradford again. I told those guys, like, I know they do again, like, you guys should leave me alone. Because in my mind I'm like, if I tell them I'm not, going there again, they should look for someone else. Maybe they'll be gingered or motivated to find me to find me a school within Leeds that'll be easier for me. But you guys, July was a very terrible month for me, because after I stopped there, it was only towards the end of July I now started working. That was during summer. That was when I started working full time. But between first and I started working full time like 28th of July. Between that first, second, no, I think I stopped Bradford around 2nd July. Between that 2nd and 28th, nothing. I was red. My account was red. I was frustrated to the teeth. And within that period, I was going for interviews back to back, back to back, like before I finally saw one and I had my summer job, you get. But my point is that if you're registered with only one agency, you're putting all your eggs in one basket and you are risking yourself. Another thing I noticed about these agencies is that when you are registered with another agency, the former agency you're registered with or the other agencies they sit up, they literally like force walk down your throat. So most times when agency A calls me, oh, are you available for work? And I say, no, I've been booked elsewhere. Then I start asking you, oh, what's the name of the school, so that we can reach out to the school and tell them, like, so that they can also register with that school, since you've already worked there, so that next time when they have a shift, they can just send you there. Then I start asking you questions like, how much did they pay you, so that they know how they can, increase and all. I noticed that when they hear you've been booked elsewhere, they suddenly sit up and then they now want to, pay you more, want to book you more, because for them, you working with other agencies means you have more experience, you have vast experience. Because sometimes they ask me which school. I mentioned a school this other agency has not worked with, and they're like, oh, that's nice. And so because of that, they start to, I don't know how they do it anyways, they start to like want to apply to those schools, so that they can tell you that, oh, we have agency staff that already worked there, so it will be easy for them to like get access to those schools and all of that. So my point is, the more the merrier, the more the merrier. Okay. So the more the more agencies you register with, the more your chances of landing jobs. Do not put all your eggs in one basket, because these guys are gonna use you to play. But when they see that you have other options, they literally will be dragging, like they drag you. There was a day one agency, like I was already booked in another agency, let me say agency B, and agency A calls me. Do you know that there is a storm? The weather is bad. Ask no, first of all, which school did they post you to? I tell him, he was like, it's far from your address. The weather is really bad. Can you call them and tell them that you can't come because the weather is bad? I say, you say wait. You say waiting, you do waiting. I say no, please, I can't. And to be fair, like I said in this video, do not cancel your shift to favor another agency. Like these guys are really tricky. They know what they are doing. If even them that you are canceling their shift for, they'll feel like, oh, if this person can cancel their shift from another agency for me, that means the other way around. You get, if another agency offers a bigger thing, she can even cancel on us too. So while it feels like you are favoring them, they're also thinking that, oh, okay, this person is not really trustworthy, because if I dangle more money in her front, she's going to change. Okay. So as much as this money is important, this increment is important, trust me, it's not what your what's it called, loyalty, or it's not what your trust. Okay. And trust from as many agencies as possible. Yeah. So I have cleared my conscience by bringing you guys this gist. Okay. So if you're still trying to register with a teaching agency, you're still wondering how everything goes, I've made several videos on that. You can check them out. I'll try to link some of them in this particular video so you can check all of them out. And the teaching agency job is fun, it's interesting, less stressful to an extent, anyways. Not, but at least it's not as bad as some other jobs, anyways. Less stressful, and yeah, of course. And if you have questions, you can ask in the comments. And by the special grace of God, I'm gonna respond to them. Okay. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, please leave a comment, please subscribe, and I will be so happy. Thank you once again for watching, and toodles.